Hello. Okay. Good evening to all. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay. Good evening to all. Good evening. So
Good
now to start. Good evening. So welcome to
evening,
MEG-5.
sir.
That is okay. Hello. So uh, welcome to MEG-5 literal criticism and theory. That is block 6 perhaps. S block 6. Topic that is the feminist theories. Feminist theories, very interesting. So listen only mindfully. Feminist theories. As usual, so to follow up the same process also today, that it has also some important questions that some famous poets, uh, personalities, along with some short questions also. Sure. Now, just we'll be in touch with some important short notes, the short points, means sub points, carrying 4 to 5 lines or 3 to 4 lines. Okay, as has been done by from the very beginning. So at first, I am dealing with some sub points consisting of 4 to 5 lines. Then after some short notes that's carrying 10 marks. Then long questions. So today also the same process. So listen to it. So feminist theories. Feminist theories. So what do you mean by feminist? Feminist means the advocate of women's right. The advocate of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. Okay. The meaning of feminist is an advocate of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. So a person who supports feminism is called a feminist. A person who supports feminism is called a feminist. Very simple. So a person who advocates equal rights for women, who is called a feminist, a person who advocates equal rights for women is called a feminist. Okay. Or who supports feminism. So what is feminism? An advocate of women's rights on the basis of equality of sexes. Okay, so now just focus on some important sub points that's very required and necessary in order to touch the long questions. So, what is the key concepts of feminist theory? Okay, what are the key concepts or core concepts of feminist theories? So the core concepts in feminist theory are sex, gender, race, discrimination, equality, difference, and choice. Okay, so these are the core elements or concepts that we see in feminist theory. And what are these? Sex, gender, race, discrimination, equality, difference, and choice. So there are systems and structures. There are systems and structures in place that work against individuals based on these qualities and against equality and equity. So what is the main theme of feminist theory? What is the main theme of feminist theory? Sub points. Because these points are very necessary just to know, just to only listen and understand. Many focus on studying gender inequality. Now, dealing with what is the main theme of feminist theory. Many focus on studying gender inequality. Gender inequality, as you know, okay. So its main theme is to establish equality, also set up equality. Okay, that's also key concept of feminist theory. So many focus on studying gender inequality and promoting women's rights, interest, and issues. Means to go in favor of the women. Feminist aims to understand the nature of gender inequality. Means those the person who supports feminism, who advocates equal rights for women, are called feminist. So, feminist aims to understand the nature of gender inequality and focuses on gender politics, power, relation, and sexuality. So, feminism also based on experiences of gender roles and relations. The main theme of feminism. So, who is the father of feminism? Who is the father of feminism? Father of feminism. That's a pioneer of trendsetter of feminism. Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary Wollstonecraft is the father of feminism. Due to her 1792 book entitled, due to publication of a book that entitled A Vindication of the Rights, a Vindication of the Rights uh, of Women, a Vindication of the Rights uh, of women, in which vindication means that the justified or reasonable. Vindication means justified or reasonable. So Mary Wollstonecraft is the father of feminism, the founding father or pioneer of feminism, due due to her book entitled uh, A Vindication of the Rights of Women, in which she argues that class and private property are the basis of discrimination against women. That women, as much as men, needed equal rights. As much as men needed equal rights. So, what is the concept of feminism? What is the concept of feminism? The concept of feminism, the concept of feminism was defined as the concern with gender. The concept of feminism was defined as the concern with gender equality and the promotion of equal rights for men and women. Okay. The expression of these
Sir, can you
concerns,
please repeat the concept of feminism?
okay, the concept of feminism was defined as the concern with, sorry, the concept of feminism was defined as the concern with gender equality and the promotion of the equal rights for men and women. The expression of these concerns through theory or action and the valuing of individuals for their contributions to society rather than their biological or sexual characteristics or roles. As earlier I told, Mary Wollstonecraft happens to be the father of that feminism because of her production publication, a book titled "A Vindication of the Rights of Women." Okay, so that uh, so what is the real meaning of feminism? So now you knew some subpoints that the key features or the founding father or the father of feminism and the main features or the main themes, all these. So now some other subpoints. Then after we will discuss some other things that we see in this discussion. That is What is the real meaning of feminism? So quite simply, feminism is about all genders. Quite simply to say, feminism is about all genders having equal rights and opportunities. It's about respecting diverse women's experiences. It's about respecting diverse women's experiences, identities, knowledge, and strengths, and striving to empower all women to realize their full rights. Full rights. Okay, means equal distribution. Okay, so that is the real meaning of feminism. All women to realize their full rights. So what is an example of feminism? Feminism movements, feminism movements have campaigned and continue to campaign for women's rights, including the right to vote. So what are the women's rights? Okay, we know women's rights. Okay, so they're striving to give appropriate rights to women. So what type of rights? That's the right to vote, run for public
Right to
office,
equal pay.
equality, right to vote. What means to that's to cast the vote, to cast the vote, because in traditional periods women were not allowed to cast their votes. That remaining okay, so they are directed to remain inside the four walls of the construction. They're never allowed to go out and go out anywhere and had to speak of casting their votes. Okay, so that was abolished by the feminist. Means that is including the right to vote, run for public office. Also, in traditional periods, in past, uh, women are not seen standing the offices. Okay, they never go to any type of offices for any type of solutions or settlements. Okay, so it was also eradicated. Run for public office, work, earn equal pay. Okay, if you just compare men and women or man and woman, women are highly paid. Okay, a very fabulous salary in comparison to women. Women are not getting that much of salary what the men are getting. So that was also abolished. Okay, so earn equal pay, own property, receive education, and you know very well that women are not permitted to go to educational institutions and to receive education. So that was also avoided, okay, eliminated by feminists. So receive education, enter contracts, have equal rights within marriage and maternity leave. Maternity leave means motherhood or the period of during pregnancy and shortly after childbirth. So nowadays everything is possible. Women can stay 3 months, 4 months leave if she feels that problem, that is maternity problem. Okay. So so these are the examples of feminism. That's very good presentation. So again, repeating. So feminism movements have campaigned and continue to campaign for women's rights, including the right to vote. These are the rights. Run for public office, work, earn equal pay, own property, means possess property, receive education, enter contracts, have equal rights within marriage, and maternity leave, means motherhood, at the time of motherhood, or the period during pregnancy and uh, shortly after childbirth. Birth. Okay, so these are the examples of feminism. Means these were the rights that they were provided by the feminist or feminist, the so-called feminist. So feminism, uh, feminism is an interdisciplinary approach. Some more lines about feminism, not even now just you news some sub points about that's feminism, the father of feminism or key features, characteristics, who is a feminist, and what are the examples of everything in not selling 3 to 4 lines. So now some more about feminism. Feminism, feminism uh, is an interdisciplinary approach to issues of equality and equity based on gender expressions, gender identity, sex, and sexuality as understood through social theories and political activism. Although largely originated in the West, although it was originated or came into being in the West, feminism is manifested worldwide and is represented by various imitations committed to activity on behalf of women's rights and interests. Throughout most of the Western history, throughout most of the Western history, throughout most of the Western history, uh, as it largely originated in the West, as earlier I told. So it was originated or it originated in the West. Sure, taking that into consideration, throughout most of the Western history, as you find it in West, so throughout most of the Western history, women were confined to the domestic sphere. As earlier I told, they're confined to the four walls, the construction. They're not allowed to go anywhere. They're not allowed to move here and there in the public places. Okay, it was prefixed. If anyone doing means violating the rule, he was civil punished by the head of the family or by others. Okay, so it was mandatory. Sure, that is throughout most of the Western history, women were confined to the domestic sphere while public life was reserved for men. Understand? Do you get me? So means only men can move here and there freely, but not women. Women are confined to the four walls of the construction. They can only do different types of works assigned to them in the house. So in medieval Europe, women were denied the right to own property. Also, they cannot possess in property in medieval Europe. It was there during that time. Women were denied the right to own property. Not that also to study, were denied to study or to participate in public life. If anything happening outside, so they can't participate, they can't go or to speak of participation, always inside the house. Okay, just like the domesticated animals inside the cage. So like that, always inside the house. And what to speak of go outside and participation? Nothing. So to study means denied to study or to participate in public life. So at the end of 19th century in France, at the end of 19th century in France, they were still compelled to cover their heads in public and in parts of Germany. Okay, at the end of the 19th century in France, they were still compelled to cover their heads. Wells. Okay, cover that. You might have seen nowadays also in country, the women residing in that rural areas are following that system, rules and regulations prefixed by the okay family members. So that is at the end of the 19th century in France, they are still compelled to cover their heads in public, and in parts of German, a husband still had the right to sell his wife. What a precarious condition! You just imagine. A husband still had the right to sell his wife. Is it possible nowadays? You just speculate. Is it possible? Never. If it's happening nowadays, so it may lead to something otherwise. You just imagine what will the consequence nowadays if all this all sorts of
What
activities.
was the right? Like,
A
what was the right?
husband still a husband still had the right to sell his wife
Okay.
in the public places. Sell to sell his wife, even as uh, late as the early 20th century. Uh, so that's it was happening at the end of 19th century. That what I told you before now. Okay, a husband had the right to sell his wife. Okay, and they are remaining inside the that they had to cover their heads in public and places. You might have seen in villages. Okay, so even as late as the early 20th century, women could neither vote nor hold elective office in Europe and in most of the United States. Okay, and in all these places, we are just witnessing these activities. We are witnessing these activities even as late as the early 20th century. Women could neither vote nor hold elective office. As now we are discussing feminist theory, so these are the precarious conditions of the women in that Western history, throughout most of the Western history. Okay, so that is women could neither vote nor hold elective office in Europe and in most of the United States, where several territories and states granted women's suffrage. Suffrage means the right to vote in political election. Right to vote means they have no right to cast their votes. As earlier at the very beginning, at the outset, I told, so they have no right to cast their vote. That is women's suffrage. So several territories and states granted women suffrage when they can participate in the election long before the federal government do so. Women were prevented from conducting business without a male representative. But nowadays you might have seen, so in that malls or different types of big shops, women are the sellers. They are selling. They are doing different type of activities there. Okay, in different types of shops, they are doing different types of activities there. Okay, so that is, but women are prevented from conducting business without a male representative. Nowadays, women are becoming the partners, business partners. Okay, but in those days, should they're prevented doing all these activities means that prevented from conducting business without a male representative. Unless until a male representative is there, women can invest his money or start a business. But nowadays, it's possible everything is happening. Okay, so uh, be it father, brother, husband, or a legal agent, or even son. Okay, so without male representative, a woman cannot conduct or start his business. But be it a father, if the male representative, maybe his father, brother, husband, or any legal agent, here's maybe, but a male member is a must. If he is going to start a business, there should be a male member with him to help him, to assist him in that work. Sure, that is be it a father, be it father, brother, husband, legal agent, or even son, whoever he may be. So married women could not exercise control over their own children without the. You see, these are the precarious conditions that are that are held in Western most of the Western history. Most of the Western histories show these are the most precarious condition of the women. So that's why feminists uh, wrote their voice and eliminated or uprooted all these activities. So that is if married women could not exercise control over their married women could not exercise control over their own children without the permission of their husbands. Suppose you have a son. So you can't scold him or beat him if you're not taking prior permission of your husband. You get me understand? These are the situation, the most heart-rending situation, heart-rending situation during those days. Okay, sure. If you want to scold your child or speak something against your child, means if your child is doing any type of bad activities, harmful activities, you are going to control him, check him, avoid him. Okay. So you have to take the permission of your husband. Moreover, women had a little or no access to education. Had a little or no access. I mean, they were deprived of getting education also. Women had little or no access to education and were barred, barred from most professions. In some parts of the world, such restrictions on women continue today, nowadays also, in some parts of the world. So now history of feminism. Uh, There is scant evidence, a little evidence, there is scant evidence of early organized protest against, there is scant evidence of early organized protest against such
Are you talking
circumscribed.
about Kant, sir? K-A-N-T, or sir? You're saying
No,
C-A-N?
no, SCANT,
Okay, okay,
scant.
okay, okay.
Scant evidence of early organized protest against such circumscribed status. That rebellion proved exceptional. However, for most of recorded history, only isolated voices spoke out against the inferior status of women, presaging the argument, supporting the argument to come. In late 14th and early 15th century, that's a philosopher or a staunch follower of feminism, that Christine D. Pishon, that's a very great philosopher, a staunch follower of feminism, challenged the prevailing attitude towards women. Okay, now just you knew or came to know the most precarious and heart-rending situation of the women, taking different points into account. Okay, in different spheres of activities. So They're being seriously suppressed and oppressed. Sure, that was challenged by a very stern follower of feminism and called Christian D. Pearson challenged the prevailing attitude towards women with a bold call for female education at first. With a bold call. Means very strongly he challenged it and spread everywhere that women should be educated. Women should be given education. Okay. So for female education, the defense of women had become a literary subject by the end of the 16th century. Defenders of the status quo. Status quo means the existing state of the affairs, especially regarding social or political issues. Regarding social or political issues. Earlier, we knew that so the women were being exploited in different spheres of activity, not only in education or whatever you call maybe in different spheres of activity, in different fields of activity, starting from top to bottom. Sorry, bottom to top. Okay, so that is the defense of women had become a literary substance. Okay, defenders of the status quo painted women. I mean, those who are defenders of the status quo means the existing problems. Status quo means the existing state of affairs, especially regarding social or political issues. So, status quo painted women as superficial and inherently immoral, while emerging feminists produced long list of women of courage and accomplishments and proclaimed that women would be the intellectual equals of men. Okay, intellectual equals of men. What men is getting, that should be given to the women also. So, who told it? That the emerging feminist, some emerging feminist, they raised their voice. Okay. So, intellectual equals of men, if they were given equal access to education. Okay. So, some emerging feminists that propagated that or raised their voice that if education is to be given to the women, or if they are given education, they can know everything, they can gain everything. They are not losing, rather they are gaining in different spheres of activity. So at first we should give them education. We should drive them to go to school and colleges. So the so-called debate about women did not reach England until the late 16th century, when pamphleteers pamphlet means those who write small booklets, leaflet containing information. They are called pamphleteers. Means a writer of pamphlets. Pamphlets means a small booklet or leaf, leaflet containing means what is one brochure that is called a pamphlet. A small booklet or leaflet containing information or argument about a single subject. So pamphleteers means a writer of pamphlets, especially ones of political or controversial. So they just write books based on controversial issues. So they are called pamphleteers. So when pamphleteers joined battle over the true nature of womanhood, after a series of satiric pieces, mock, mocking women was published. The first feminist pamphleteer, the first feminist pamphleteer means who wrote books on political or controversial issues of the feminism. Uh, okay, So after that's uh, the first feminist pamphleteer in England, writing as Jane Anger, responded with Jane Jane Anger. So responded with Jane Anger, her protection for women, that is 1589. This volley of opinion, volley means a number of bullets, arrows, or other projectiles discharged at one time. This volley of opinion means a number of opinions. Volley of opinion continued for more than a century. Okay, until another English author, Mary Astell, issued more rigid rejoinder in a series proposal to the ladies. So these are the writings. They are the staunch follower of the feminism. They are the staunch follower of the feminism. So are you listening? Listening? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So they are the strong supporter or staunch follower of the feminism. Means they have just produced many different types of books on feminist theory. Okay. So a series of proposal to the
Sir,
ladies,
sir, were you
16,
mentioning, sir, were you mentioning the writings of Jane Anger?
Jane, Jane, that is called Jane Anger. Jane
Yes,
Anger,
sir.
writing a
Sir,
Jane.
yes, sir. Sir, did you mention any of the writings of Jane Anger?
No, I have not mentioned here.
Okay.
So, but he became a staunch follower of the feminist theory. Okay, he became a staunch follower of the uh, feminist theory. Okay, so Mary Astell also issued more rejoinder in a series of proposal to lady in 1694 to 1697. So the two-volume work suggested Jane under the volume of opinion, Jane, that's Jane Austen, sorry, Jane Angers, the volley of opinion. Volley of opinion means a number of uh, that this was written by this essay was written by Jane Anger. Volley of opinion continued for more than a century. Okay, so it was so strong and so powerful that people accepted it for more than a century until another English author came and wrote. Okay, so that is the two-volume work suggested that women inclined neither towards marriage nor a religious vocation should set up secular means not connected with a religion or spiritual matters, non-religious, not connect should set up secular convents where they might live, study, and teach. The features of feminist literary. So also here we have that is that is as earlier you knew that feminist theory or feminism, feminist theory or feminism is a historically women-led movement. Is historically a women-led movement that calls for an end to sexism in all forms. Feminists strive for social justice. Feminists strive for social justice for those who had been oppressed by the patriarchy. Patriarchy. Who have been oppressed by the patriarchy. A system of power dominated by men in society. Patriarchy means a system of power dominated by men in society. Okay. Although feminists may differ on the best way to accomplish this, feminism as a whole is concerned with bringing about a better society for women, non binary people, and everyone in between. Feminists like uh, Simon D. B. Boy, Maya Angelou, and Mary Wollstonecraft, so they are the strong feminists, want to create a better world where nobody is denied opportunity or respect as a result of their gender. Types of feminism. Types of feminism.
So we can also mention Sylvia Plath in this.
Mention that is she want to create a better world where
So
I
can we
mean
mention Sylvia Plath in this?
a path to
Plath,
create a
Plath,
better.
Sylvia Plath.
Yes, yes, that no, no. So they were the strong feminists who Simon de Beauvoir, Maya Angelou, and Mary Wollstonecraft.
Sir, am I
They,
audible?
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
So
So
best
I'm
way
asking first, can we mention Sylvia Plath in this too?
who?
Sylvia Plath.
Yes, no, no. First are telling I'm not able to listen to the session
It's
audible.
okay, sir. It's okay, sir.
No, no, again repeat.
Sir, I'm asking, can we mention Sylvia Plath in this?
No, no.
Like
So
as we are like talking about a list of feminists, so I think Sylvia Plath we can accommodate her too.
yes, sure. That's so. These three feminists want to create a better world. These three feminists want to create a better world where nobody is denied opportunity or a respect as a result of their gender. I mean, both should be given equal opportunity, men and women. So, types of feminism. While all feminists are united, while all feminists are united under a shared belief that one's gender should not determine one's role or treatment in society. Many feminists differ on the uh, nuances of feminist theory. There are many labels different feminists might use to describe their beliefs. But the three most prominent types of feminism are liberal feminism, socialist feminism, and radical feminism. Okay, so the types of feminism. One is liberal feminism, then socialist feminism, then radical feminism. All three of these types of feminism means all these feminism, three types, all three of these types of feminism are committed to fighting gender inequality, committed to fighting gender inequality that prevail in our society, but they have different methods of doing so. Okay, all have the same aim and opinion, but they have different methods. Aim is same, but methods are different. But they have different methods of doing so, and are focused and are focused focused on different aspects of society. So the following sections will delve into each of these branches of feminism in more detail. So first to know liberal feminism. Liberal feminism. Liberal feminism is rooted in is rooted in is rooted in classical liberal ideology. Is rooted in classical liberal ideology, which promotes freedom, individualism, and equality. It is not the goal of the liberal feminist to uproot societal structures. So their aim is not to uproot or eliminate societal structures, what is there in the society, but to give people of all genders an equal place within those structures. They typically advocate for a change through legal and political reform. An example of the liberal feminist approach, an example of the liberal feminist approach would be the way the women fought to criminalize marital rape. In this case, male dominance over women was considered. In this case, male dominance over women was considered the natural order of things in the home. But liberal feminist philosophers, or liberal feminist supporters, uh, and activists saw that this natural order was detrimental, dangerous to women's safety and a violation of their rights. And they fought their way to victory through legislation. Another example of the liberal feminist method is the story of Susan Anthony, who was crucial during the women's suffrage movement, which aimed to empower women by giving them a voice in politics. Voice in politics means they are given the right to vote in political elections. They are given the right to vote in political elections. So uh, now socialist feminism. Now socialist feminism. So now that is socialist feminism. So historical analysis indicates that all human societies have been or are marked by some degree of inequality between sexes. Historical analysis indicates that shows that all human societies have been or are marked by some degree of inequality between sexes. Even in the 21st century, there is an ongoing struggle against oppression of women in some societies. They are seriously oppressed or suppressed in 21st century. Although men are physically stronger than women, although men are physically stronger than women, socialist feminism supports the idea that women experience oppression in various ways. Okay, so women, means socialist feminism, they supports the idea that women experience or feel oppression in various ways, not in only one field, but in various fields. So, what are these various fields? Including education, race and class, socialist education, race and class. Socialist feminism, socialist feminism is defined as the struggle against capitalism. Socialist feminism is defined as the struggle against capitalism. Capitalism and male supremacy or patriarchy. Socialist feminism doesn't exclusively focus on ge- gender to account for women's position, but also attempts to incorporate attempts to incorporate an analysis of class and economic condition for women. So feminism is the belief and idea of promoting equality between men and women, especially in all opportunities. Since women suffer most from oppression, feminism seeks to challenge feminism seeks to challenge women's power structure, roles and perception, especially in modern societies. So that is social feminism. So now start that is radical feminism. Just 2 minutes, just wait, 2 3 minutes again coming. 2 to 3 minutes. Wait. Okay, I'll start now. So radical feminism, for the last one, radical feminism. So they entirely rejects patriarchy, patriarchy and system that upholds it, radical feminism. Uh, so radical feminism is a perspective within feminism. So it's a perspective feature within feminism that calls for a radical reordering of society, calls for a radical reordering of society in which male supremacy is eliminated. You get me? Male supremacy is eliminated. Means they entirely rejects patriarchy, as earlier I told, and the system that uphold it. So male supremacy is eliminated in all social and economic contexts. So the radical feminists uh, that raise their voice against male supremacy, or the male supremacy is eliminated in all social and economic context, while recognizing that are also women's expressions are also affected by other social divisions such as in race, class, and sexual orientation. The ideology and movement emerged in the 1960, 62 or 70. A radical feminist view society, radical feminist view society view society fundamentally as a patriarchy in which men dominate. Patriarchy means domination of the men or supremacy of men. So, in which men dominate and oppress women. Radical feminists seek to abolish the patriarchy so they seek to abolish the system, means system in which men dominate and oppress women. So they seek to abolish that system in a struggle to liberate women and girls from a perceived unjust society by challenging existing social norms and institutions. Existing existing social norms and institutions means they try to abolish the patriarchy, means the men's power, and providing to liberate women and girls from a perceived unjust society by challenging existing social norms and institutions. This struggle includes opposing sexual objectification. This struggle includes opposing sexual objectification of women, raising public awareness about such issues as rape and other violence against women. Okay, means we find these characteristics in a radical feminism. In radical feminism. Okay. Rape and other violence against women, challenging the concepts of gender roles. Radical feminists believe in equality between all genders. They believe in equality between all genders. Means all should be provided equal justice, regardless of the men and women. So feminism is a movement. Feminism is a movement. So that is feminism is a movement that challenges gender inequality under patriarchy, a system of power led by men, and fights for change. So feminists just fight for some changes. Feminists fight for gender equality for everyone, including men, women, and men, women, transgender, and non-binary people. Most feminists, most feminists agree on five basic principles. Most feminists agree on five basic principles working to increase equality, expanding human choice, eliminating gender stratification, ending sexual violence, and promoting sexual freedom. Liberal feminism, liberal feminism works within a liberal democracy to enact change through legislation, means through laws, taking the help of court laws. Socialist feminism connects the flaws of capitalism with gender inequality. Radical feminism rejects patriarchy entirely and the ideological and societal structures that uphold it. Although feminist theory was expanded to champion the struggles of all genders, it is still a relevant and influential movement. Modern day nowadays feminism focuses on lifting everyone out of gender based injustice while recognizing varying degrees of privilege and oppression among people of different backgrounds. So now that features of feminist literary uh, uh, features of feminist literary feminist literary criticism, feminism has transformed the academic study of literature. Feminism has transformed the academic study of literature, has transformed the academic study of literature. Fundamentally, altering the of canon of what is taught and setting new agents for literary analysis. In this another uh, in this authoritative history of feminist literary criticism, leading scholars chart the development of the practice from the Middle Ages to the present. The first section of the book explores proto-feminist thought from that. Meenakshi Sharma Yadav, Meenakshi Sharma Yadav, feminist literary criticism. So his just presents his opinion in favor of feminism. She speaks, feminist literary criticism is a literary criticism knowledgeable by feminist theory, a more broadly by the politics of feminism. It uses feminist principles and ideology find the language of literature. This school of thought seeks to analyze and describe the ways in which literature portrays the narration of male domination by exploring the economic, social, political, and other activities. It was not an easy task to convince the patriarchal society. Okay, means domination of the male or supremacy of the men, domination of the men. So it was not an easy task to convince the patriarchal society to give women the same right and opportunities as men. Women struggled for ages and have been fighting for almost a century for their rights. Okay, they are struggling and they are fighting for, but they're not getting as patriarchal prevails or reigns the supreme, means male supremacy reigns the supreme. Sure, but they have been striving and challenging, but not getting the right, proper right. The term feminism, the term feminism highlights their oppression, and this term has been used in every campaign that calls to abolish women's suffrage. Women's suffrage means the right to cast vote. Women's suffrage during the last decades of 19th century. Feminism is one of the most influential movements and dynamic philosophies in history, for it made an impact on literary works, politics, and all aspects of society. So it started before the 1960 with major literary works such as Mary Wollstonecraft, as you know, that the father of feminism. So Mary, because of her production, that famous production, a vindication of the rights for women, means reasonable rights or justified rights for the women. Because of that book, she is regarded as the father of feminism. So that it started before the 1960 with major literary works such as Mary Wollstonecraft, A Vindication of the Rights for Women, uh, Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, also is one among them a very staunch follower of the feminist theory. Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, and Simon D. Weir, The Second Sex. Okay, in all these productions, we come across uh, the presentations of the feminism. So Mary Wollstonecraft, A Vindication of the Rights of Women, the vindication of the rights of women. Vindication means, as I told, justified or reasonable, or the fact of providing that what something said or did was right. So Mary Wollstonecraft, A Vindication of the Rights of Women, Mary uh, Wollstonecraft his married name Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin, born 1800, sorry, April 1927, 1727, and died, that is 1797. London, English writer and passionate advocate of educational and social equality. As an English writer and passionate advocate of educational and social equality for women, social equality for women, born in 1759 and died in 1797. Okay. Uh, she outlined her beliefs in a vindication of the rights of women in 1792. Died in 97, but wrote that book in 1792, considered a classic of feminism. So it is regarded as a classic, a milestone in feminism. Uh, in 19, in 1788, in 1788, who died in 1797. In 1788, she began working as a translator for the London publisher Joseph Johnson, who that lady, the father of feminism, whom we call. So in 1788, she translator, began working as a translator for the London publisher Joseph Johnson, who published several of her works. So prior to that, means before the publication of this, that his famous classic of feminism, that is vindication for okay, vindication of the women, of the rights of women. Also, she had written many books. So while working there, or working as a translator for the London publisher Joseph Johnson, she had published many books on feminism. Her works, including the novel Mary, a fiction, uh, and many books. Her mature works on women's place in society is a vindication of the rights for women. Before that, she had produced many, or written many books, but it's mature and the most classic, that a milestone. He created a milestone in writing, uh, that this production, or this writing, that is a vindication of the rights of women in 1792. Died in 1797, but wrote that famous, well acknowledged book in 1792, which calls for women and men to be educated equally. So in that book, she wrote that women will, which calls forth, means invites for women and men to be educated equally. In which book? In Vindication of Rights for Women, which she wrote in 1792. Prior to that, she had written many books, but that book gave me a lot of name and fame. Okay, so which calls for women and men to be educated equally. Wollstonecraft left England to observe the French Revolution in Paris. Left England because he studied in England. Okay, he studied in England, uh, London, England. Okay, London, England died. So he left England to observe the French Revolution in Paris, where she lived with an American captain, uh, Gilbert Imlay. Wollstonecraft returned to London to work again for Johnson, where for the first time he was working as a translator and published many writings there. He worked there as a translator, and during that reign or period, so many books had been published. So again, she returned to that publisher, Joseph Johnson. So returned to London to work again for Johnson and joined an influential radical group. So for the second time, she worked there as a translator in that publishing house, and strongly influenced in a radical group which gathered all his home and included which gathered at his home and included William Godwin, Thomas Paine, Thomas Halrupt, William Blake, and after 1793, William Wordsworth. A vindication of the rights of women is one of the trailblazing works of feminism. Trailblazing means introducing a new ideas or method of innovating or pioneering activity. So a vindication of the rights of women is one of the trailblazing of a trailblazing works of feminism. Means it gave introduced of new ideas or methods, innovating ideas, some innovating ideas of feminism, published in 1792. 1792. Prior to that, she had written many books, but this happened to be the most important and influential one. Uh, Wollstonecraft's work argued that the educational system of her time, Wollstonecraft's work argued that the educational system of her time deliberately trained women to be frivolous. Frivolous means not having any serious purpose or value. Frivolous means not having any serious purpose or value. So trained women to be frivolous and incapable. She thought that an educational system that allowed girls, she thought that an educational system that allowed girls the same advantages and boys would result in women who would be not only exceptional wives and mothers, but also capable workers in many professions. Understand? So she just professed that if education is given to women, they'll be capable in different fields of activity, spheres of activity. Would not only be exceptional wives, they will they will be not only exceptional wives and mothers, but also capable workers in many professions if we give them education. So he just wrote that in her book, that is a vindication of the rights of women. Who? Mary Wollstonecraft. Other early feminists had made similar pleas for improved education for women. Not only she, but also others also gave their opinion um, about women's education. But Wollstonecraft's work was unique in suggesting that the betterment of women's status be effected through such political change as the radical reform of national education system. Such change, she concluded, would benefit all society. National education system means it should be implemented in national education system that women should be provided education. If then their getting everything. There will be there will be not only exceptional wives and mothers, but also capable of working everything, or capable workers in different the fields of activity. So according to her, so that is national educational system. It should be implemented in national educational system. Such change concluded would benefit all society. The publication, because now we are dealing with the uh, Wollstonecraft's Vindication for Rights of Women. Okay, so we are getting that in our discussion. The first number one. So, the publication of Vindication caused considerable controversy, but failed to bring about any immediate reforms. From 1840, however, members of the incipient American and European women's movement resurrected means the action or fact of resurrecting, resurrected some of the books, some of the books principles. It was a particular influence on American women's rights pioneers such as Elizabeth Stanton and Margaret Fuller, so that the pioneers of that book. So that's all about that Mary Wollstonecraft's that vindication of rights for women. Then Virginia Woolf's at his production. Then Virginia, a room of one's own. Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. Briefly, Virginia Woolf wants women to be free in every field. Briefly speaking, that lady uh, wanted women to be free in every. Now we are dealing with Virginia Woolf or the A Room of One's Own. So that vindication of rights of women, that was by Mary Wollstonecraft, and then just we concluded. So now to reach Virginia Woolf. Briefly speaking, Virginia Woolf wanted women to be free in every field. She states that the rights given to men about working with equal rights. She states that she states that the rights given to the rights given to men about working with equal rights as men for men for wages or equal pay. Who wrote Virginia Woolf wrote in his book of one's own that she states that the rights given to men about working with equal rights as women for wages, equal rights for wages with women, or equal pay with women, having equal right in education means women should be given everything equal with men. What men are getting, also it should be given to women. So having equal rights in education and sex equality should be given to women. Everything will be partial, but impartial judgment, not partial. As well, first Virginia Woolf, that's born in 1882, died in 1941, was one of the most important female authors in the transitional period from Victorian age to the Edwardian age. Until her death at the age of 59, she published several novels, feminist essays, and held two classes in Cambridge about women and fiction. Also, she was taking classes in Cambridge about women and fiction. In this term, we would like to introduce the feminism aspects of her life and novels and give an overview of the essays she wrote. So uh, after giving a short introduction with the most important facts about Virginia Woolf's life, my first intention is to define the theory of feminism, who saw how it affected Virginia already as a young girl, and mainly as an independent woman. So whenever she was young, so how did it affect him? Or how was he affected uh, in that? So latter three of her novels are taken to demonstrate how Virginia Woolf's development influenced her literary output. We would also like to show the differences between Virginia Woolf's attitude towards women and men. We would also that would also like to show the differences between Virginia Woolf's attitude towards women and men and compare it to theories of the feministic movement in the 20th century. There are numerous biographies and essays written on Virginia Woolf's life. There are numerous biographies and essays written on Virginia Woolf's life. Virginia returned to London where she made friends with London Leonard Wood. Returned to London where she made friends with Leonard Wood and also married that man and also married that man. Leonard and Virginia Woolf published the first edition of Virginia's short story, Key Garden. So both were jointly published uh, the first edition of Virginia's short story, Key Garden, her first two novels, The Voyage Out and Night and Day. So these are the first two novels by Virginia Woolf. And both she and her husband sharingly wrote that jointly wrote uh, a short story entitled Key Garden. Her first two novels, The Voyage Out and The Night and Day, were published in 1915 and 1919. Several other important outputs followed, such as Jacob's Room, 1922. Okay, so at first they both jointly wrote a story that is Key Garden, then two of her novels published, that Voyage Out and Night and Day, 1915 one and 1919 the second, the latter. Several other important outputs followed. Okay, after that, she went on writing uh, many books. Sir Jacob's Room, Mrs. Galway, and other The Lighthouse, 1925, 1972. So after these two novels, Voyage Out and Night and Day, she wrote many books. Then A Room of One's Own in 1929. She wrote that book, A Room of One's Own, 1929. Orleans, 1930, and others. Although being invited to hold lectures, going to the United States, and receiving public honors, Virginia Woolf gave only two lectures in Cambridge colleges as she became famous. She became famous uh, after that, after imparting knowledge or imparting lectures in Cambridge College. A room of one's own, a room of one's own, that is by Virginia Woolf, is an extended essay by Virginia Woolf, first published in September 1929. That was an essay, a classic essay written by Virginia Woolf in 1929. The work is based on two lectures Woolf delivered in October 1928. A Room of Oneself show that work is based on two lectures Woolf delivered in October 1928 in a college at the University of Cambridge. So he just delivered that lecture, two lectures on that book in a college of Cambridge. Woolf was already connecting feminism to anti-feminism in a room of one's own. While delivering lectures in a college of Cambridge, uh, Cambridge University, he already connected feminism to anti-feminism in a room of one's own, which addresses in some detail of the relations between politics and aesthetics. The book is based on lectures Woolf gave to women students. As it was a women's college, she that delivered his lecture in a government women's college of Cambridge, right, which was coming under Cambridge University. She so delivered his lecture there, University of Cambridge. So, uh, in that lecture, she addresses in some detail the relations between politics and aesthetics. The book is based on lectures Woolf gave to women students at Cambridge. So that lecture was meant for only student, women students at Cambridge. But this innovative style makes it a famous one, like a novel. But his innovative style was appreciated by one and all. So it is regarded as the first modern uh, premier for feminist literary criticism. A room of one's own is not so much about retreating, about interruptions, trespassing, and ab- trespassing of boundaries. It oscillates on many thresholds, performing feminist movement in India. In this note, we will make a review of the autonomous women's movement in India organized under the National Conference of Autonomous Women's Movements. Okay, so many lines are there about that. Let's know. So now person discuss that is Simon D. We, okay, Simon D. With the second sex, his presentation is second sex was a French writer. That STB was a French writer. Whereby was a French writer, feminist, social theorist. So after that, Mary uh, Wollstonecraft, then Virginia Woolf, uh, were discussing about Simon de Beauvoir. So was a French writer, feminist, social theorist, and existential philosopher. She is best known for her groundbreaking ideas, means innovative ideas surrounding feminism. Her book, The Second Sex, is said to mark the beginning of second wave feminism across the globe. In her book, the writer, the writer, argues that throughout history, women have become classified as the other, which has allowed women to remain oppressed. She advocates for their liberation. Who? Simon advocates for their liberation. So Simon's ideas strongly challenged the societal norms and expectations, the societal norms and expectations of her time. Her second contribution to the feminist movement was a petition entitled Manifesto of the 343, which she authored and signed in 1971. This act of gathering 343 women to come forward with their experiences paved the way for the legalization of birth control and abortion in France. So means he gathered 343 women to come forward with their experiences and to raise their voice against all these activities. Oh, Simon, that's in the feminist movement. She led a feminist movement asking the opinion of 343 women who joined in this feminist movement uh, and paved the way for the legalization of birth control and abortion in France. At that time, all these things were happening, so they raised their voice in this feminist movement. So she gathered, means taught 343 women to raise their voice against all such illegal activities. So Simon de Beauvoir, that man, that was known for many pieces of writing. Simon was known for many pieces of writing or ideas, particularly in realm of feminism. Perhaps her most innovative and long lasting ideas were outlined in her publications, including The Second Sex and the Manifesto of the 343. Manifesto means publication of 343, means he collected 343 women to participate in that feminism, to participate in that feminist movement. Feminist movement. Against what? Against that birth control and abortion in France. In The Second Sex, Simon analyzed women's oppression and outlined the foundation for contemporary feminism. The Second Sex is a 1,000 page of the patriarchal society, 1,000 page of the patriarchal society. Patriarchal society, and the idea that women were considered to be lesser beings than men. So Simon D famously writes, Simon famous Simon D famously writes, one is not born a woman, but becomes one. One is not born a woman, but becomes one, suggesting that gender is a social construct. She wrote in that book, in The Second Sex, that gender is a societal construct, not a biological identifier. Throughout The Second Sex, Simon D references ancient creation, myths, and the Bible, arguing that women are labeled as the other and thought to be secondary to men. In these biblical myths, women are frequently portrayed as the sinful or weak side of a being. Using evidence from literature, Simon D writes a compelling argument as to the connection between myth and history. Myth and history. Through this connection, she argues men defined women as the other, the darker, inferior side of humanity, unworthy of responsibility. She argued that men defined women, men entitled women, uh, saying that they are the darker, inferior side of humanity, unworthy responsibility. So in The Second Sex, Simon D. Weaver's Second Sex outlines women's difficulty, outlines women's difficulty, outlines women's difficulty, women to liberate themselves economically, politically, and sexually. The ideas and arguments Simon D outlined in her writing were revolutionary at that time and sparked an awakening of a second wave of feminism. Okay, so in The Second Sex, what do we find that that Simon D outlines women's difficulty and speaks women to liberate themselves economically, politically, and sexually. So that's why it sparked an awakening of second wave feminism. However, The Second Sex wasn't Simon's only contribution to feminist theory. She also wrote and signed the manifesto of the 343, as earlier I told. So after second sex, she wrote manifesto of the 343, published on April 5th, 1971, in which she encouraged 342 other women. In manifesto of the 343, uh, published on April 5th, 1971, she encouraged 343 other women who experienced issues with access to birth control or reproductive rights to sign as well. In this petition, Simon demanded access to contraception and the freedom to abortion. She writes, I will have a child if I want one. I will have a child if I want one. And no moral pressure, institution, or economic imperative will compel me to do so. The manifesto paved the way. The manifesto paved the way for legal and safe birth control and abortions in France. So that was all about second uh, Simon Lee's second sex. So perhaps tomorrow we don't have in class. Again, we have to meet on Sunday, perhaps Sunday. So
Sir,
Sunday we are
not
taking
tomorrow.
no, not tomorrow. Sundays. Sorry, Monday. Tomorrow
So
we do not have class because
okay.
2 days gap now.
Okay.
Two days gas relax. We are relaxed for 2 days. Again, we have to meet on Monday and Tuesday consecutively 2 days. So to complete. If we are meeting and taking another two classes, so we are completing our entire 8 modules. Okay, so on Monday we have to start, that is deconstruction. It's a very difficult discussion. Deconstruction, and after that, the I can say what the last discussion, contemporary literary theory. The last one is contemporary literary theory. So on Monday we have to discuss deconstruction. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, two classes are there. Not today, sorry, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, on Monday and Tuesday. So till that, goodbye. So again to meet on Monday this time, that's 6. Never forget to join. So on that day again we will start everything. Okay, the rest will be done in the next. As next is always the best. So till that, have patience and uh, confidence. So on Monday, we are coming with another new topic, that is dis- deconstruction. Deconstruction. At the volume uh, 8, perhaps. Block 8. Volume 8 or block 8. Sorry, 7, block 7. Today was the block 6. Today we completed block 6. So on Monday, block 7. And Tuesday, that is block 8. Last block.
Sir,
Last block.
sir,
Hello?
sir, no, sir,
Yes, speak.
sir, there is no schedule program in MEG 7, 10, and 14.
Not 8 dot, I mean 7, 14.
No.
Mm, No, no,
7 and
no.
14 are not coming
So
in
I mean to
first
say,
year.
I,
Only
I
one, 2,
meant,
3, and 5 are coming.
1, 2, 3, and 5. Yes. Okay. It's in
Yes.
first year, it is in second year. It is whenever you will be promoted from first year to second year, that time you are facing what you told now. That is 7, 8, and 14. Okay. So now
Okay.
you are in first year. Now you are in first year. So these
Yes.
topics are to be dealt. Okay. So okay, up to that. So
Okay.
what you told, that will dealt in second year. Whenever you will promoted from first year to second year, that time you are just facing all these. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So thank you all. Till that, goodbye. Again to meet on Monday. with another new topic, that is deconstruction. Okay, thanks you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.